Yeah, I mean, it's been a little bit of a stop-start sort of June for us, with sort of a break and then playing and then a little bit more of a break. But it's been giving us an opportunity to sort of really focus on ourselves and I think continue to learn. We're able to take some of those learning lessons and go against Chicago, and then again, another little bit of an extended time to just kind of focus on ourselves, and now preparation for a bit of a busy period starting with New England. And again, I think New England is the best compliment I can give New England is they're a very difficult team to play against, both with and without the ball. They have some attacking players that can really hurt you, and they are really stingy on the defensive side, so just trying to find ways to create goal-scoring chances. Going to New England is always a difficult place to play. They in addition to them being a well-coached team, it's difficult to play against. So we expect it to be a traditional Eastern Conference sort of battle, but I think the guys are up for the challenge.
Thanks, Coach. We'll start with Corey and go down the line. I've gotten asked 2 questions if you have them.
Coach, I know before the season there was talk about wanting players to be more individually creative in the attack. Do you feel that that's something that's grown kind of as the season's gone along and guys have gotten more comfortable and confident?
Yeah, I mean, I think for what we try to create is we try to have a really structured way of how we go about things, and also a real structured way on how we want to play. And from structure, we believe that allows creativity and individuals to express themselves. No structure and a lot of creativity is sometimes chaos, and we want to stay away from that. And I think the team itself has really is really detailed in the way that we want to play, the structure of how we want to play, and then from there, I think you see a lot of individuals having freedom and creativity to put their stamp on our games.
Yeah. Now, we've seen the huge year that Sam and Hany are having. How much of that is directly related to what Hany Mukhtar has brought to you out of the back? I mean, it seems like he has set them up repeatedly.
Yeah, I mean, I think, again, I look at it from, we have a very clear way we want to play, and a lot of that's built around trying to get players to be put into the best positions of themselves. That's how we view ourselves as coaches, is to bring the best out of players. And collectively, you can see a lot of guys making an impact, especially, on goal contributions, Andy being one of them. And then, guys like Sam and Hany are on the other end as beneficiaries of it. But collectively, we look at that as a byproduct of the collective work that everybody's doing. Everyone will get a chance to sort of, make their statement on the goal sheet. And right now, Sam and Hany are doing a great job.
Hany's been a great player for a long time in this league, but how much when you walked in did you talk to him about being, I guess, a full field player, both sides of the ball, being a little bit better defensively, and how much has he jumped into taking that role? That maybe the numbers aren't quite as eye-popping offensively as a few years ago, perhaps, but maybe he's an even better overall player right now?
I mean, when I came in, we started talking about everybody's going to attack and everybody's going to defend. So it's not a specific conversation with one player. It was a mentality across the board of how we're going to do it. And I would say specifically to Hany playing, I think he's someone who is a student of the game, is constantly looking to improve himself, and has taken and become much more of a well-rounded player. And you can see that without the ball, his pressing, him and Sam leading the line. With the ball, whether it's making goal contributions or just getting our attack from, the back third into the final third. So I think, tremendous credit for him in the way that he's continued to develop himself. But it's under the umbrella of what we talk about here, is that the requirement to be a Nashville player is that everyone's going to attack and everyone's going to defend.
Coming in midstream last summer, obviously it's hard to do everything you want to do immediately, but have we seen over the last month and a half what your vision actually was for this group? How close are you to what you want this team to be at this point?
No, I mean, I don't think we get caught up in looking at that. We've been talking about just turning the page every day, and we stick with how can we just keep getting better, doing what we do, and elevating the way that we play. If I'm being completely honest, I think we're just scratching the surface. It takes a while to get everybody, up to speed and playing exactly how we want to play. But really happy with I can say that we're really happy with the progress that we're making, but at the same time, we know that there's still elements that we need to continue to improve if we want to really achieve great things here in Nashville.
Yeah, BJ, you talked about just what you expect from New England. Obviously, Caleb Porter has been around MLS for a long time. He's won an MLS. I just want to ask specifically about the change in formation. It seems like they shifted to a back three, and that kind of kick-started their form for them. What have you seen from them kind of in that shape?
Yeah, I mean, Caleb's a championship-winning coach, so it's what I think all good coaches are able to make adjustments, and again, through the lens of trying to bring out the best of his group. There was a lot of turnover in New England off of the season, from last season to this season, in terms of players. So it was just a matter of time until you knew that collectively they were going to figure it out. And I think again they've been in a good run of form, and they're just hard to play against. And that is, I think a lot of sort of from the structure that they've been able to build is that they're difficult to score goals against. That gives them a chance in every game. And then they have some real attacking talent. I mean, Carlos Gil's an all-star level type of player and has been in this league. And then you just continue to add Campagna and all of the guys that they brought in. So for me, I think that's been a really good change that he's probably made up there. And the proof is in the results.
And then you've talked all season just about how important it is to have competition for places. And it seems like in the last few weeks, Matt Corcoran has really started to kind of earn more minutes than we saw in the first half. Just what have you seen from him that you liked recently, and what are you kind of hoping to see from him over the second half of the year? Yeah,
I mean, Matt's been a great, I would say, story for us this season, which is a player that we were able to sign, a young player, 18 years old, and is probably mature beyond his years of that. And for us, it's a player that first and foremost is brave and wants the ball. We're a team that wants the ball, so we need players on the field that want the ball. And then he's continuing to develop can he play the ball forward and connect those forward type of passes. And then I can't talk about any player without talking about without the ball. And he's a guy who covers so much ground and maybe isn't the strongest in duels, but if you look at the way he intercepts balls, plays in passing lanes, screens in front of the back line, I think he's making real positive contributions when he gets on the field, and that's how you continue to get on the field more often.
Patrick?
Yeah, BJ, with Sam growing up in England and being at the academy with Forest, how has that translated, you think? Because there's not a lot of guys who've come from England to Major League Soccer, at least at this stage in his career. How do you feel like that's translated for him and the style that you wanted to play this year, to a different kind of background than maybe what you would normally see in this league?
Yeah, I mean, I think you see Sam comes from a highly professional environment, and then it comes over to Nashville, and again is continues to be a really good pro. The way he prepares, the way he studies the game, the way he works after, you can see that he's been instilled to kind of be motivated for his career, but I don't really see it any different. I mean, he's it's still a player that has a specific profile as a forward, and it's our job to bring that out. And in the flip side, it's his job to kind of perform at that high level and be adaptable as well. And I would say that's the greatest compliment I can give him, is that it's not easy to come over from a different culture, a different league, a different whether you want to say like through a different system, coming up through a different system, and he's been, embraced it, welcomed it, and has, found ways to adapt and as well, and find ways to make an impact on our team.
You talk about specific profile. Has that meshed with what you thought you were getting with him when you first got here? Now that you've worked with him?
I mean, I didn't come here with any expectation of what I thought. Sam, my job is to connect with these guys and talk to them and build relationships with them, and through building a relationship with Sam, and I think I've said this many times before, studying him when he was at Forest and playing in a tandem with Brendan Johnson, some of his best times was there, and so it's our job to sort of learn about him as a person, analyze him as the profile that he brings, and put him out on the field and try to set him up for success. And if we're able to put our players in good positions, I know that their quality will take over.
Laura?
Coach, when it comes to the kind of union, I guess, of Sam and Hany up top, what do you think is the key to two tenacious attacking players making that work, kind of being a two-headed monster instead of like a two-headed problem per se, you know, with tension. If it were to go the other way, well, how does that work so well?
The first way it works is you need a good supporting cast. So, you know, there's a good, really good group of guys here that play behind, well, on the field, play behind them because they play up top. That again, you know, that make great contributions, and they've been the beneficiaries of sort of kind of that ability. And then the second point is selflessness, and that's a value that we have here, you know, inside our organization, that the team is the star. And, you know, for that, you're going to, you know, individual accolades, individual recognition will come when the team is successful and really buying into that. And credit to those two guys on, you know, I would say embodying that value that we have. But overall, it's that the team is the star, and there's a lot of guys making contributions. But in this sport, we know the ones that score the goals, you know, end up getting more of the notoriety. But internally here, you know, we're proud of the work that the collective group is doing.
And you mentioned you think the group has just only scratched the surface. How do you continue to maximize the club from where they're at right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think for us in general, it's continuing to improve in the areas that we need to improve through phases of play on the field and getting better. The things that we do well, we want to be better at, and the things that we need to improve on, we at least want to make some marginal gains at it. Additionally, we want competition in the squad. I think competition at this level brings out the best, and you know, as our season has unfolded, we've had lots of contributions from a lot of players, and as we started the second half of the season and going to continue through, especially with a bit of more schedule congestion coming here at the end of June through July. More guys are going to get called on and have expectations put on them that they're also going to contribute. And from that, I think push the whole group forward.
We'll go to Jacob Shames on Zoom.
Yeah, BJ, you know, you've talked in the past about using each time you play teams a chance to evaluate, you know, some specific part of your team or NEvNSH, for example. You know, you played Red Bulls in the first game, you know, you didn't adapt to their pressure well at first, but, you know, did a lot better, obviously, the second time against them. I guess what similar things maybe did you take away from the season opener against New England that you can take into this Wednesday?
Yeah, I think for us, when we played New England, there was a lot of ideas that we were happy with in terms of, you know, the principles that we work on and sort of the, you know, this tactical shape that we were working on, but it was game number 2. And, you know, so I don't know how much translates necessarily, like, from the last time we played New England till now, with so many months, and the teams are just so much different and so much more well-developed. But for us, we know that when we go to New England and we want to play them, that we've found across the games that we need to be ourselves. We need to stay true to how we want to play. It's a team that wants to be aggressive. You know, we want to be controlled in the way we're the aggressor, but we definitely want to be the aggressor no matter home or away. And it's just another chance for us to kind of continue to improve that.
And, you know, you've gone to, you know, serve as an in-studio commentator for the Club World Cup, you know, the recent weeks. I guess, what's that been like for you, just, you know, getting to analyze those games and serving that role?
I mean, I would say 2 ways. I think I always had an appreciation for the other side of the business, the media side, but maybe I have a greater one now. There's a tremendous amount of work that goes into, one, just producing a 90-minute soccer game, but also sort of all of the coverage that you guys do. That I have a great appreciation for how much goes into it, not just the, you know, whether it's one interview or one column or a 5-minute segment on TV. So that was really good for me to see, an opportunity for me to learn and grow. And also there was a nice moment to sort of, on our off day, disconnect a little bit from Nashville and study some of the best teams in the world and have to look at it in an in-depth way. So I would say from a personal side to maybe I wouldn't say I turned my brain off. Maybe I just turned one part of my brain off and turned another part of my brain on. It was, you know, it was nice to kind of get back and analyze games that aren't our Nashville games and being involved in that day to day.
John Glenn.
BJ, I think my question is probably very similar to what Lauren asked earlier, but I was going to ask, in Sam and Hany, you've got two guys who are sort of alphas and naturally expect to be kind of the main, the focal point of the attack and so forth. Wonder if there's a balance that is struck sometimes, or if you've talked to them, that both guys can still thrive in a successful team as we seem to be seeing this year.
Yeah, again, I think it starts with the environment that we create here, and like with Lorna said, that we have a value that's selfless. We have an anchor that we call together we are better. And so when that's the starting point, everybody's on that same page, then individual people will shine inside the system. And I think they realize that we're trying to be aligned behind a vision that's greater than ourselves. And so one person is not going to get us there. Two people aren't going to get us there. The whole group is what's going to, get us to achieve these lofty internal expectations that we have. And so again, it's a continued process of trying to learn, grow, get better, and at the same time bring their best qualities out. And our job in the environment is to bring their best qualities out, but at the same time, their job is to bring each other's best qualities out.
Anything else, John?
Just maybe to pull.
Okay.
What's that?
Go ahead.
Just going to follow on that. The fact that I think both of those players have already scored as many goals as they did last year. Biggest attributing factors for you in that, is it system, is it personnel, is it personal development? What are your thoughts?
I would first start with, certainly their personal development. These guys work every day at getting better, whether that's tactically, whether that's making contributions without the ball, or obviously, the end product of finishing. So, a lot of the credit goes from there. And then secondly, it's the collective group, right? It's knowing how we can create situations to set up guys to then get the ball into the attacking players, and then how can we get the attacking players in as many opportunities to score goals. And eventually, at that point, we all stop, and the guys that score goals have to make the final play. But if we can create a lot of them in the game, and we can repeat the type of actions over and over again, it gives them more repetition, and ultimately gives them more opportunity. And then they take the most. They take they make the most of their opportunity.
Any others in the room?
Just a quick question about the weather this week. Do you use it as a chance to acclimate because you got no choice, or do you have to rein it in a little bit so your guys still have some juice left?
That's a great question. You definitely have to acclimate, right? There's no way around it. We've definitely sort of tweaked the way that we're training with the idea to continue to still get the intensity out. So whether that's changing a little bit of the time that we train, or how long we're on the field, or maybe they're liking how we give them maybe longer breaks. But it's important. It's really important to make sure that they're hydrated, and make sure that when we call on for the intensity, we can get it, and at the same time, not losing focus that we need maximum intensity, maximum effort on Wednesday night, not Saturday night. We'll need that too, but Wednesday night.
Yeah, I think it's been a really big improvement, I think, from last season, but I think you've seen towards the back end of last season what we were trying to do, and I think it's just come out this season more. It's not like I think we've been doing too much differently. I think we've still been working hard and trying to build connections, and it's paying off, but we've just got to keep it going and not look too far ahead, and just look at the next game.
Yeah, I think we have a really good mix in the group with a lot of younger guys. I think the past couple of years we had more older guys, more experienced guys, but we brought a lot of young legs in the group, and now we have a good relationship. I think Sam and I, we enjoy playing with the younger guys because they bring energy in, they bring excitement in, and I think we can see that now how we want to play with more excitement, being more aggressive, and I think it suits us very well.
Great. We'll go the other way this time. We'll start with Lauren, and if you guys have to go ahead and ask them.
Okay. So just in terms of kind of your dual production, what do you think is really the complement between the way the two of you have been able to be individually productive as well as complementary of each other and even other attacking players? Hany, if you want to go first.
Yeah, I think it is very important for a successful team to have multiple people who can contribute to a team, and I think Sam and I worked on our relationship. I think we have great support behind us, so we have to keep building it, and we know how hard it is to build a relationship, but yeah, we have to keep pushing, because that is also in the end how we as Nashville SC will be successful.
Yeah, I think just building on that, it's just we've always been, since I've been here as well, we've always been working hard. We've never not tried to build it. We've just kept on going game by game, whether it's good or bad. We always try and get better, and we're always working hard in training. So it's, yeah, I think it's just, like I said, it's reaping the rewards of what we've done, I think, for the past couple of years. And yeah, I think we both want to get even better. We still think there's more highs for us and for the team. So yeah.
And I guess just in terms of BJ telling us that, you know, all the guys behind you, he meant quite literally on the field, playing behind you, kind of setting you both up for success. How would you describe the way the team dynamic has evolved and taken BJ's system really in stride?
Yeah, I think the guys behind us bring so much energy, and for us as offensive players, it's not like just being sitting back and just waiting to get the chance, to being proactive and trying to win the ball high up the field, and like as soon as we win the ball, playing to us, and the other team is unorganized, so it's easier for us to score a goal. But yeah, in general, I think we have a really good dynamic in the group. I mentioned it before, younger players, experienced players, and we all get along, and there's this taste of being hungry, and I think we have that this year. We have a good mix. You can see that after training. A lot of players want to do more, want to do extra work, and I think that is the spirit you have to have in a team, in a successful team, to reach the next level, to be hungry for more.
Yeah, I think, like I said, just the energy that we've had this year as well. The energy's been a massive part, I think, of our success. And yeah, obviously we brought lads in, but you've seen other guys that have been here for a long time that are starting to play a different way. But yeah, it's there's only just need to keep building on that, to be honest, and hopefully we can. So.
Hi, kind of following up on about the hunger of this team. You've been on some good teams here. How difficult was last year, and did you show up with a little bit different mentality this year after having gone through that?
I mean, I love soccer. I want to start there. I think even when you are going through tough times, you have to remember this is what you love doing. And I always work hard. I think everybody who has worked with me, I never put less effort in. But I think, you can taste this year there is more than it used to be. Maybe just Sam and I staying after training, shooting and working on some things. Now you can see, the younger guys, they pick up on that and staying out there. And I think that is an evolution of the club and where we want to go. And in the end of the day, you need to work harder than the others. And I think we have that good competitiveness in this team. So I think for the next step for us is that we all get better in what we are doing.
How important, I mean, as a guy who's won MVP before and has some individual honors, how important is it the rest of your career to try to get a cup here and get some team awards that you guys have been shooting for?
I mean, as an athlete or as a soccer player, in the end of the day, you want to win a title. And I think we could be the first team in, I think, Tennessee, if I'm not wrong, maybe in Nashville, to win a title. And I think we have, with Open Cup coming up now, a chance where if you win 3 games, you win a title. But also a strength of ours is that we just look game by game. In the end of the day, you cannot look too fast or too far in the future, because in the end of the day, you have to win game by game.
Yeah, Sam, I wanted to ask you, you're basically at the same goals that you hit last year, halfway through the year, and I know you've said in the past that you'll back yourself whenever you get chances. I'm curious, just from your perspective, what the difference has been. Has it been just better finishing? Has it been more consistent service? A mix of both?
Yeah, I think it's probably both. I think last year was a difficult season for everyone. Yeah, I still felt like we tried the best we could when we were going forward. It wasn't easy at times when we didn't have a lot of the ball and we weren't getting a lot of chances. But yeah, I think this season I obviously wanted to keep building on it. Yeah, and like I said, I know I've got the same tally, but I try and not look at it too much. I probably try and look at, like I said, like Hany said, game by game, just trying to, if I get a chance, try and score and not looking too much into that. And I think, yeah, it just shows that I think as long as we keep doing that, I think, yeah, the numbers will take care of itself. But at the end of the day, like, we're winning a lot of games at the start of the season. I wasn't really scoring as many and we were still winning. So it's like, I think it just shows the strength of the group, and yeah, I think that's what we got to keep doing, I think.
And then, Hany, I went back and looked at a quote from you. I think it was from 2022 or 23, where you talked about just wanting to see, when you guys had a 1-0 or 2-0 lead, being able to see out the game with the ball and control possession. It felt like you really did that. You've done that multiple times, but especially against Chicago, just being able to keep the ball and frustrate them that way. Just how important has that been for you to be able to see that this year?
Yeah, I think that is the step we needed to make, like just seeing games out with the ball. You cannot just sit back and defend and hope that they don't score and you defend well, right? Like you can be proactive and say like, hey, we keep the ball after, like we have been running around behind the ball for 2-3 minutes. Let's keep it, even if they press us, break lines and be proactive in what you're doing. And I think this year, we worked on that a lot, to be honest, but it shows the character of the group that against New York City after such a long stretch of games, we gave 2 points away and we talked about it, and now we go to Chicago and we're leading 1-0 and Sam makes the 2-0 and then we keep the ball, playing with the ball, and I think that is the next step of us as a team, and yeah, that is good to see.
Steve?
Guys, you both talked about some of the struggles from last year. I'm curious, it was a year ago right now, you started a 2-month stretch where you didn't win. Now you're in the middle of a 2-month stretch where you haven't lost. It's obviously a very different feeling. How much of that is BJ and being comfortable in what he's asking you to do now? And just how much is confidence maybe? Is that the biggest difference than a year ago right now within the squad?
I think personally we have a completely different group. I think if you look at the player models, completely different what we had last year. There is tons of ways to play soccer, and I think for our way, how BJ wants to play, we have the right players, we have energy, we play aggressive, and I think that helps us this year to even when we get back or if we get a goal conceded, we always have the chance to come back, and we believe in our qualities. We work on a lot of phases, and I think this year you can show that we are in a lot of phases pretty strong. We were always a good team defensively, but now we create a lot of chances, and I think I made a joke to Sam, like this year if we don't score, it's on us, because we have the chances, and in the end of the day, that is how we want to play, and I think BJ does a good job to make it clear. That is very important, especially when you have a mix between younger guys and experienced guys. And quite frankly, we have a lot of players who come into the lineups. When someone goes to the national team or someone gets injured, we can replace players, important players. And I think that is a very good sign of a good coach, because he makes it easy what the tasks are for the players. And I think just taking Jason in the center back, like he came in and he took the role, and he doesn't really speak the language, but it's clear for him what is his task, what does he have to do, and I think that is a very good sign of the coaching stuff.
Yeah, just like you said, like you've seen lads that come in like Josh as well. He obviously got 2 goals in 2 games, and Andy's obviously been one of our best players. Josh comes in and does really well. There's, like I said, there's players all over that can kind of come in and build on what the others have been doing. But yeah, I think it's obviously hard to compare this season to last season, because like it's almost like a different team. Like you look at half the players, but also the mindset. I think BJ was trying to get us to switch the mindset a bit since he's come in. And and obviously we had that month training. Obviously when the playoffs were going on, we were training here for a month. Obviously the lads probably weren't happy about it at the time, but I think now like stuff like that, it just shows like we put in the hard work, and yeah, we're getting rewards for that.
Hany, obviously you've been an MVP in this league, but BJ said you're always looking to get better. Are you continuing to get better in this league? And where's the biggest area that you feel like maybe you've taken a step this season?
I always want to get better. I think soccer evolves constantly. I think as a player you have to look where can you get stronger. I reflected also my last season. I wasn't happy, obviously. I reflected where I could get better, and I talked with the coaching staff and with BJ about it. Just getting also off the pitch better for the team, and helping younger players to be a leader and showing them, not only showing them on the field like how to do it, but also like off the field talking to them. And I think this year I have done a good job to helping the younger players and trying to whoever wants to talk, taking them and helping them. For example, Ahmed Kasim, new player, comes from Europe, very similar situation where I was maybe 5-6 years ago, just helping the team. I think I have most of the time in Nashville done it on the field, but also you can help with talking and from your experience, just helping players off the field. Yeah, I think that's the biggest step I have done this year.
All right. Sam, you guys have both brought up the changes to the roster and what they've meant, but in particular Andy Nahar. How has his ability to put you in position to score changed things for you guys?
Yeah, he's. I think he's a very forward-thinking right back. Obviously, we had Shaq. He was similar in that aspect, but I think Andy kind of gives us a different outlet on that right-hand side as well. I think he's almost like sometimes playing as a winger, and it just adds. He's got lots of quality. He can cross balls really well. Obviously, he cuts it back, and he's just. I think he gets himself in really good positions. And you've seen even when he came on the other day, he helped change the game against Chicago, and I think just getting him in good positions as well, and he's probably one of our best players offensively as well, and it just helps us going forward when you have players like that can also do well going forward, and he's been a big part of the success.
And Hany, BJ said, despite being undefeated in your last 11 matches, that this team is just scratching the surface. Do you feel like you're just scratching the surface and there's a lot higher level for this team still? Yeah, definitely. I think we can see that we still improve. Just taking Chicago 2-0 lead, and we get the ball and keep the ball, and I think that is a good evolution of us. I think back to Andy. I think he's really a special player, because that is what I think is the biggest difference for me personally to last year, where we have players right now, when they press us high, they find solutions with the ball, and that starts from the back with Joe playing out, and I think Andy gives us there such a special and unique picture where he can even dribble through opponent and just create different pictures on the field. And he's, like Sam said, definitely one of our best players.
Jacob on Zoom.
Yeah, Hany, last season it seemed like you would sometimes have to drop a little bit deeper into midfield to pick up the ball, taking you maybe away from goal sometimes. And how helpful have guys like Eddie and Patrick been in midfield with all the ground they cover to allow you and Sam to be in better positions to score, it seems?
Yeah, Eddie and Patrick, they have the engine. I think they run like 13K every game, which is incredible. That helps us. They're on the front foot. They can cover a lot of ground. So I'm very happy to have the engine behind us, because that means we can stay up high in the field and already I don't like the word cheating, but you already okay, if they win the ball, in what position are you? If they win the ball, and making sure that they can connect to you the pass, that you can go forward. I think they have helped us incredibly this season, but in the end of the day we are just halfway through, and I think we have to go game by game, but they have done a really good job.
And Sam, being in the Gold Boot race right now, you were one goal off the MLS lead. Is that something that was on your mind before the season as an ambition? And if not, maybe when or has it even become a possibility for you yet?
I'd say I've always wanted to come in and score goals. Ever since I've come, I've wanted to do that. This season's been no different. I think the team success, mine's sort of come along with that. I think like I said at the start, like I probably wasn't scoring as many as I wanted to at the start of the season, but at the same time we was winning games. I think as long as the team's doing well, I think my success will come along with that, and I think as long as I keep focusing on that, everything else comes. But yeah, I think if you start looking at that too much, it probably hinders you. But I think some players want to, and they can strive for that. But I think if we won an MLS Cup this season, after obviously especially last season, and the lads putting the work in, I see every day. Obviously, Hany and other lads we're putting in the work after training. I think that would be a lot more special doing it with people that you put your trust into and you're working hard with every day. I think it's a lot more important.
John on Zoom?
I wonder if both of you guys could answer this. Both of you guys obviously very talented, offensive players, and both, I'm sure, kind of expect to be the main target in offense. What's it been like, understanding that you can both thrive in the same offense?
Yeah, I think for a successful team, you need to have more players who are capable than in scoring goals, and Sam has that hunger. He shows that every day after training he wants to do shooting exercise and do more. So we need to have players like this with the mentality to do more and willing to score, because in the end of the day the hardest thing in football is still scoring a goal, and we need to have multiple players who are capable of scoring goals.
Yeah, like you said, just multiple players that can score goals. I think it's come from other people as well. You've seen Dan Lovett this season, he's got a couple of goals. Andy's obviously, I don't know what he's on for assists, but he's doing amazing as well. But Jason, we've got lads that can score goals from different positions, and we probably need Eddie and Patrick to chip in now with them two in the middle. But them two are doing great as well. But I think if we have goals coming from all different, it's not just solely reliant on me and Hany, and I think again that's another thing this season that's been big for us.
Just to follow on that, just wonder if each of you guys could maybe briefly talk about how your relationship with one another has evolved and adjusted over time since Sam got here.
Yeah, I think it's a consistently growing and learning what the other person likes, and I think we keep working on it. We do a lot of film where I think the coaching stuff has helped us quite a lot, where they give us clear pictures, and when you come in areas where they say, okay, that's what the other person likes, and I think that makes it easier for us. In the end of the day, we need to have a good relationship to make this team strong and to win games. We have to keep working on it. It's consistently just doing it over and over again in practice, and we have done good this year, and I think there's still space to improve for both of us. That's exciting, and hopefully it goes even better.
I think, like I said, we just want to keep getting better, and we know there's more to come. It's like BJ's probably said it. I think we're still scratching the surface. I think that's obviously the team, me and Hany and other players on the pitch. There's a lot of youth in the team, and I think we're only going to get better. I think obviously last season wasn't great, but we're building this season. We're still not the finished article, but we're doing well this season. But we know there's so much more. I think obviously you look at Chicago, there's still a lot of areas where we can improve on, and we've had a lot of good games this year. But I think I think there's still hopefully more to come this season. I think there'll be more good games, and obviously me and Hany, I think we just keep working with each other, and hopefully we just keep it going.
Laura, another last question.
Obviously you guys work super well together, but you're still competitors. Is there any kind of friendly bet on who's going to score the most goals this year or anything like that?
No, there's no bet. We just hope to get a title to Nashville, and I think I'm personally if he wins the Golden Boot and we win a title, I would sign that today.
Yeah, I agree.
Thanks, guys.
All right, thank you guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much.